Hi guys, Crowlister here with part 4 of the Pac-Man World Re-Pac long play. I just completed the first 3 areas in previous videos, and now we're gonna move on to the next level of Ghost Island up here, where we take on the Funhouse and Factory areas, with this video doing the Funhouse area. You can see one of the gates is still a clown mouth like it used to be. So, let's get into it, starting with clowning around. This is where the game starts to get tough. We are after the midpoint, after all. I do think they did a good job redesigning the backgrounds of each of the different worlds in this game, and with the foregrounds as well. Make sure to well aim this bomb dot so you can get all of the airplane clowns at once, so you can turn them into fruit. One of them becomes a strawberry instead of a cherries. The Funhouse area was always my favorite area as a child, playing the original Pac-Man World, even if I wasn't very good at it. Of course, as an adult now, I'm better at games than I used to be, so... Gotta be careful around these spinner platforms. It can be easy to fall off of them. I know, I missed a pack dot. I get that later. Because I gotta go back there after getting a melon anyway. Of course, everyone loves Funhouse mirrors. The detail isn't very good, though. That could just because I have the Nintendo Switch version of the game. Like in Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, they removed reflections completely from the mirrors in the Switch version because of graphic limitations. The Nintendo Switch version of Pac-Man World Re-Pac runs at 30 frames per second also. I know it runs at 60 in some of the PlayStation and Xbox versions. And yeah, those cheeky bozos laugh at you after they inflict damage. In the original PlayStation game for Pac-Man World, the way that the airplane clowns laugh was exactly the same as Sweet Tooth's laugh from the Twisted Metal series. It's probably a good idea that they perform the laugh differently in the remake. The bumper cars that you see in the Funhouse area were a nightmare to deal with in the original game, since you could only destroy them with a Pac-Dot bomber attack, or if you rev-rolled them over the cliff, which was very difficult to do. In this game, though, you can destroy them with a bounce, so they're a lot easier to deal with. You have to be careful while going through the barrel tunnels. I'm reluctant to go through those in Funhouses in real life, to be honest. I remember being scared to cross one of those at the end of a Funhouse that would come to the fairgrounds in my area, in my first visit to that Funhouse in question. Notice how Pac-Man doesn't turn while he's standing still on one of the spinner platforms. Yeah, that's totally realistic, Namco. In the Funhouse's unlockable mazes, there are paths that'll open and close throughout the game, forcing you to be extra careful of which ones you access while working with the power pellets. I can get at least one of them. Obviously. Funhouse bonus stage, pretty straightforward. Use the trampoline to mount the balloons, and get all the targets among them quickly while moving fast around them, because the balloons burst shortly after you jump on them. I got a match with the apples. I'll accept. We have exceeded 400,000 points. Well on my way. Alright, so with this, we move on to Barrel Blast. Barrel Blast is not an easy stage to complete without losing any lives, and there are no extra lives in the entire stage at all. So you gotta be careful here. There were also no Pac dots in the stage in the original PlayStation game, apart from the maze. They added some Pac dots and enemies in Re-Pac, so you can at least get a decently viable score. I'm not gonna attempt to kill the airplane clowns, because that's dangerous. No need to be greedy. Gotta be careful about the toxic emissions from the clown faces. Those damage you. I remember struggling to get past these barrel tunnels because of the toxic emissions. So I'm gonna wait for them to blow before I proceed. There. Slow and steady wins the race, they say. combination of toxic emissions and conveyor belts is not really convenient at all. These ones have heated stove tops on them, so you gotta be careful while going back. More so than going forward. Wow. If you flip that green switch before picking up the slot medal, you'll miss it. Alright, maze. Again, you got paths that periodically open and close in this world's mazes. Those can actually be pretty annoying. Alright, moving forward. We got some metal bumper cars. We gotta open this chest and get the metal dot before we can take them down. What punishes you about the chests that are put on the ledges up here is that you cannot grab the edges of the platforms that have an emission on them. That could have gotten me easily. least one of these was vital for me. Having a fruit instead of a heal one. They put a metal dot chest at the start of the barrel turners here, so you can quickly get past the stove heaters. So I got the special apple, so I can get the key. Come on. Alright, we got fragmented barrel turners, followed by ones that require a well-aimed rev roll in order to make up here, so you have to be extra careful of your aim. And we're off. You know, while I was playing Pac-Man Museum Plus, the year that it came out, and the year that Re-Pac was coming out as well, in the arcade room, I did notice that some of Pac's idle animations, Double Peach, nice. Some of Pac's idle animations in the arcade in Pac-Man Museum Plus were very similar to some of his idle animations from the original Pac-Man World. And that, along with the treasure chest being the decoration item, made me think that maybe Pac-Man World was actually getting a remake. And lo and behold, it did. So, I thought that was interesting, and I just wanted to bring that up before I forgot during this playthrough series. Now we got one of the hardest in the game, Spin Dizzy. I was actually reckless and screwed up, as in losing a stock at the beginning of the stage in the recording, so I cut that out and tried the stage again from the start. As you can see, I have one less stock than I did before. It's important to beat every stage without losing any lives for maximum score. And score does matter loads in this game. You'll see why by the final episode of the playthrough. The unstable-looking floorboards will drop after you stand on them, so you gotta be careful around those. Yeah, that fruit door is optional, because it just has an extra life. As opposed to Barrel Blast having absolutely no extra life pickups, this stage has a lot of them. And then that one just has a heal all. You see this pack-shaped spinner disc? That disc is inverted 90 degrees and is inaccessible until you flip the switch I had to activate where the tox emissions in the elevator were. So activating that switch is required. Then there are also spinner discs that are shaped like top hats that have a bonus item atop them, which is a nice touch as well. I like the designs that these had in the original PlayStation title. That's one bit of a graphical downgrade I guess Re-Pac has. A pretty minor one. Are you kidding? A pack dot chain that leads to literally where that chest with the C was? Pathetic. That's fair. Since you can't see the shadow while crossing them, it can be a little tough to get over the balloons. I shouldn't have destroyed that one clown plane, because it made me lose a strawberry. It's hard to remember placement every so often. Right, mates. Undoubtedly the most difficult and trolling of the Funhouse mazes. If you're not careful about the opening and closing paths like I wasn't in this take, it's gonna destroy you. And if you lose your 3 chances you get while unlocking a maze, the maze doesn't unlock, and you have to play the whole stage all over again. Ah. Ah. No. That was awful. I have to play the maze again later in this video anyway. Now you gotta cross some conveyor belts and gigantic hammers. I was lucky that hammer was gonna smash to the right instead of the left there. I love how they just added a pack dot chain there, instead of a direct having to go back like before. Not sure why that was there. Ah. Stove walls gave me trouble for some reason. Now we got spinner discs within spinner discs. Now we got these spinner platforms with stove walls and stove floors, which tend to give me trouble as well. I honestly didn't remember getting the melon to unlock the last ladder door while I was playing the game. I got it as soon as I activated that one switch you saw. For some reason, there's an invisible boundary that prevented me from going that way, and it caused me to land right on the stove. So... And with this, we've rescued our baby daughter. I got a match with the bananas. Not bad. So from here, we move on to Clown Prix. If you remember from the original Pac-Man World on the PlayStation, this was a bumper car race, instead of like an actual boss. It's easier and funner in this game. I always familiarize myself with the controls before the actual race starts. Alright, bozo faces, you're on. Hey, you can't get a head start, that's cheating. Still, that's not gonna help against the master opponent. The skull annotations during the race alert you where the bombs are. Driving into those will inflict damage. Once the power meter you see fills up completely, press, it would be A on the Nintendo Switch or circle on the PlayStation to do a turbo boost. Eating a power pellet gets you a special boost as well. In order to make the tighter turns, you have to brake while turning. Using the turbo during a tight turn is dangerous, especially if there's not a wall. You can also spin them out of control by touching them while a power pellet is in effect. baddies didn't stand a chance. Some bonus items along the way. I got a minor match with the Peaches. That's not bad at all. And another minor matchup with the Cherries. We've exceeded 500,000 points in total. Fantastic. So with the Funhouse area all cleared, I just gotta do its mazes. Usually for mazes, once again, it's best to focus on survival rather than top score. Your remaining lives are not deducted after you finish the maze from your main game remaining lives. The ghosts reverse their direction after you eat a power pellet, and then after the power pellet wears off. They also make you invincible even to maze hazards. Not that there are any in the Funhouse area that actually kill you. There's just opening and closing paths. And there are no bonus fruit. Those are the key details you need to know about the mazes. As a reiteration. So with that wraps up the Funhouse area. Up next, in another video, we'll do the factory area. So until then, or until my next upload, I am Cruelster Master of Ponage. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.